Under Nazi siege, how Saint Petersburg survived the bloodiest blockade in human history. 80 years ago, the Red Army launched Operation Iskra, which brought an end to Leningrad's hell. Saint Petersburg, then Leningrad, was the scene of one of the bloodiest and most tragic episodes of the Second World War. Nazi Germany's siege of Russia's former capital lasted 872 days, claiming the lives up to 1 million civilians and about 500,000 soldiers. 80 years ago, in a colossal military effort, a breach was made in the blockade of the city. Operation Iskra opened a narrow, bare, exposed, but nevertheless operational land corridor from the mainland. This was the first relatively successful attempt to break through the Nazi lines after 4 catastrophic failures over the previous years. The success of the operation was incredibly important, but the victory took such a toll and is associated with so much indescribable grief and destruction that, even in Russia, it is recalled very rarely. Superfluous city. According to Germany's plan for the Eastern Front, the initial task of Army Group North was to capture Leningrad by mid-September 1941. This turned out to be impossible. The mobilization of the civilian population to build defensive lines to the south of the city, mostly women, as men were either employed in factories or went to the front, and the stubborn resistance put up by the Red Army prevented the Germans from taking it by storm. Not wanting to waste time and effort on the doomed city, as it seemed at the time, Franz Halder, Chief of Staff of the Nazi ground forces, convinced Adolf Hitler to move tanks and mechanized units towards Moscow, and leave Leningrad under blockade. It was assumed that, after a hungry and cold winter, its defenders would no longer have the strength to resist. The city would be captured and razed to the ground, and all the lands to the north of the Neva River, which flows through the city into the Baltic Sea, would be given to the Germans' Finnish allies, who were securing their blockade sector. In encircling the city, the last railway line was cut near the MGA station on August 29, 1941, just 2 months and 1 week after the war began. September 8 saw the capture of Schlisselburg, 12 kilometers to the north on Lake Ladoga at the source of the Neva River. Supplies could potentially have been transported from here to Leningrad. The blockade of the northern capital is counted from this date. Almost immediately after it was founded by Emperor Peter I in 1703, St. Petersburg became Russia's main commercial port and naval base. Wide avenues, cathedrals, the stunning beauty of the palaces of the imperial family and other nobles, as well as drawbridges over the wide Neva River, still remain a reminder of Russia's grand history. But by the end of the 19th century, the city had also become the country's main manufacturing center, retaining its industrial significance even after the Bolsheviks, who came to power in 1918, moved the capital to Moscow. In addition, both Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin recognized the city's ideological importance, since it was here that the first socialist revolution had taken place, and the city itself had been renamed in honor of the leader of the global proletariat, Vladimir Lenin.